For everyone who's looking for a budget who likes the TCL brand, we're going to check out this TV today. This is the QM5. Now here's the thing, it's mini LED technology, it's 60 Hertz, but it has a motion rate of 240 and we'll test that out later on in the video. This QM5K has some pretty good features for the money. I paid around $379 for it, but it has the LD300 and that's for local dimming, as well as HDR, quantum dots, and a gaming accelerator up to 144 Hertz. And it has that new AI processor. This TV is powered by Google with plenty of applications. It also has Google Cast, Apple AirPlay, Apple HomeKit, and it will work with Alexa using the TCL application. Now this TV is not available in those massive sizes, but you can pick it up in a smaller 50-inch, which is great, as well as the 55 like I have here. You can also get it in a 65 and a 75. With that being said, let's go and get out of the box so we can see how this TV performs. Full rate local dimming used to be a thing, and this TV does have that technology. So along with mini LED, I'm very interested to see how good the contrast levels are. Now let's see what's in the box here. Pretty standard stuff. Most of these TV comes with your basic accessory kit. So we have your power cord, remote control, some paperwork. It has these little tiny feet in here, and looks like they just have 2 screws to hold them in, made out of plastic. Let's go and get the styrofoam out. It does come with that protective cardboard on the front of it. And one thing about this TV is actually got some good weight to it, so it's not like a really light TV or anything like that. Looks like the styrofoam's catching it, so we'll get it out of here. There we go. Go ahead and lean it back here, and we'll go ahead and get everything out of the way. So here's all the accessories that come with it. You have this power cord, and it's got like that computer type plug. You have some little zip ties for wire maintenance, screws for the feet, remote control, batteries, and some paperwork. The remote control is actually pretty nice. It's kind of like what comes with your standard TCL television. You see there's a source button on top. You have also a menu button. You have a home button, as well as your Google voice command, volume, channel up and down, some hotkeys at the bottom. And this one does support the TCL TV Plus, as you can see right there. So this is where the screw holes go for your TV. There's some speakers right here inside of here. So press button to get through some basic remote control, and the same on the other side. So now we're going to go ahead and screw the feet in. Very easy, just get your standard screwdriver, line them up, and just screw it in. And then we'll just go ahead and put it in the other side. Very easy. Now you guys ready for the big reveal? There it is, the QM5K. Wow, look at that. This TV has subwoofers on the back, which is a pretty cool feature. On this side is where you're going to go ahead and plug in your power. Whoa, got shocked. Here's the screw holes, so you can easily mount it on the wall. There's 4 of them. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a 60 Hertz TV, so you're not going to get 120 Hertz HDMI 2.1, but we do have a USB, Ethernet. There's 3 HDMIs, including eARC. You also have that TV tuner, and over here we have a optical output. And look at here, we have a label that says Dolby Atmos. And keep in mind that is virtual, because you can't get that kind of sound out of 2 speakers or subwoofers. You gotta have speakers behind you. And we can't forget that signature premium QD mini LED badge that TCL puts on their TVs now. And here's a side view, and as you can see, it is a little bit thicker television, but the thing is that when you have these subwoofers on the back of it, it's gonna require the TV cabinet to be just a little bit larger. While filming this video, you may see some glare. I'm trying this out in a new room, so I don't have all the curtains set up, but you can see the glare on the TV, so it gives you an idea of what we're looking at when it comes to the anti-glare coating. Now you will see an orange tab here, and that will indicate that you do have a screen protector on the television. Let's go ahead and pull it off. Satisfying. This TV is powered by Google operating system. In order to get started, you're going to need a Gmail account plus Wi-Fi or Ethernet connected to the television. When you get to this welcome screen, just go ahead and choose your country, choose your region. You can set it up as Google TV with all the applications or do a basic setup. You can use the Google Home application, but we're going to just do the TV instead, and then you want to enter your Wi-Fi credentials. Now it's connected. Now enter your Gmail account, accept the terms and conditions, allow access to all your applications so you can use voice command to search for different content. You can customize it with voice match. You can activate that and go through the steps. If you want to get local news and weather, you need to turn this on as well. And if you have any of these applications, go ahead and hit the little checkbox and it'll automatically install them for you once it gets done with the process. Now we need to pair the remote control. You want to press on home and your OK button in the center of the navigation keys. And make sure you're about 3 feet from the television. Without this feature, you will not be able to use the Google voice commands. You can also connect this TV to the TCL Home application if you like. Now the TV is going to set itself up. This can take from 5 minutes up to 30 minutes, depends on which applications you selected to download and how fast your internet connection is. And finally, the finished touches. A few things you can do with the Google TV is you can add your favorite photos from your Google Cloud. You can add multiple profiles, and there's a kid profile that you can create as well. The Google operating system is not really that hard to set up. You just got to have the right credentials. Once you get all logged in, it's not something you have to do all the time. Now, if you wonder what the QM5 has as far as the menu system, I'll walk you through it just so you know what it has to offer. So here we are on the main screen and just checking out how fast this TV is. It's got a little bit of lag, but it's not too bad. You also can do live TV, and this is where your streaming application is going to be, as well as your channels if you decide to add them to the TV. You also have access to the Google App Store, so there's plenty of applications in here. And you do have a library if you make any purchases, plus TCL has their own tab where you can stream some free content as well. So there's plenty of different options for getting content. Now if we go to the side, we can hit the settings, and under channels and input, this is where you can scan for your channels if you have antenna plugged in, but I don't have one plugged in for this demo. And this is for your inputs. And CEC is turned on so you can control the TV from your different devices like your gaming consoles as well as your cable box, as long as they're compatible. This TV is using Android 12 for the operating system, and you have 8.5 gigabytes internal memory. There's an ambient mode, which I showed you earlier. You can also have an art gallery or custom AI art. And this gives you an idea of what the AI art looks like, so you can always have something on your screen when you're not using it. Now, one thing I do recommend, if you do have an external device like a cable box, so when you turn the TV on, it'll automatically go there. I also like to go in here into the energy dashboard and make sure that these settings are turned off, unless you want the TV to automatically adjust itself. So I will go to dynamic brightness and turn it off. That way you have full control, but that's something that you can decide on your own. This TV does have sleep timers. You can cache your Android device over to it. It will support your Apple devices, plus you can hook it up to the HomeKit so you can use Siri to control it. And this TV does have a game master, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later, but I suggest you just leave everything to automatic for that settings. And if you need to, you can hook up Bluetooth headphones and different controllers to the television. So that's a quick rundown of the operating system, and we'll go into some of the picture settings a little bit later on in the video. For all you gamers out there, keep in mind this is a 60 Hz television, but I was pretty impressed after filming this footage. And the thing is, this TV does have up to 144 Hz motion rate, so you can use variable refresh rate on a computer to get even faster speeds on it. Now this TV does have a gaming mode, and there's also a feature called Game Master. If you press and hold the 3 lines on the remote control, it pops up this menu, and you can see the frame counter, HDR, auto low latency as variable refresh at the top of the screen. And you do have a frame counter. You also have access to HGIG, and you have high frame rate where you can get up to 144 Hz, but keep in mind this is a 60 Hz television. Now on the Xbox, it will support the 4K 60 frames per second. You have a TV detail where it supports everything, including Dolby Vision gaming at 60 frames. And here's the video mode, and as you can see, it supports pretty much everything for a 60 Hz television. Now there is a trick here. If you go over here, you have a toggle for 120 Hz, and when you press on that, the TV will give you up to 120 Hz at 1440p. So if you think about it, at the price of this TV, you're definitely get some great features in here for gaming. And here's the interesting thing. I want to pull up this gaming menu, and as you can see at the top of the frame counter, it does now show 120 Hz. So I just loaded up this game, and man, this TV's got some really nice natural looking colors. It's gonna be hard to compete with a TV on this level. Look at this. It is a beautiful picture, and the fact that it is a budget TV makes it that much better. Now, I would say this particular game is very hard to drive, but I'll give it a good shot and see what happens here. Look at the sky, it's very natural. Dirt looks really nice and clean. Now, I would say the color's not that punchy, but that's something that you can adjust with the saturation. I must say, though, I'm very impressed with the colors on this TV. All right, you know I got to play my favorite game, Dirt 5. I'm going to say this right now. This TV, it's going to be hard for certain brands out there to compete with the level of quality that I'm seeing on this TV. And keep in mind, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but this TCL has a lot to offer. This is going to be the go-to TV for people who are not looking for spending a lot of money, but want to get great performance. I'm impressed with this TV so far. The fact that it does support 1440p at 120 Hertz, and the fact that it has Dolby Vision and all these different gaming settings, it's actually a great television for the money. Now I'm going to just do some different tests on the television just so you can see how it performs. And keep in mind, I normally film at 60 frames per second. This video is 30 frames per second, trying something new out. But here's the thing, you might not see as smooth as motion as you normally see with my other videos. I'll put the TV back in 4K mode. Brightness is at 45. Let's boost it up just a little bit just to get out of equal mode, which is 65. All right, let's check out the motion on this TV at 24 frames per second. Like I always tell you guys, it's not going to be the smoothest image possible. At 24 frames per second, it's doing a pretty decent job. So here's the motion menu. Let's go ahead and turn it off. And you see how it gets really chalky, especially on that top line. But I find if you put it on high, it's going to give you that smooth look, even at 24 frames per second. So the fact that this TV has a motion rate of 240, it is pretty incredible. Now, if you want to get that cinematic look, you can go to what they call natural cinema mode. So as they're moving the camera, it gives you that cinematic look. That's something you can do. Plus you can customize it. This is the judder control, and this allows you to control the motion manually. So if you want on 10, it's going to be the smoothest. You put it on 0, and it's going to give you that chalkiness. So if you're getting that soap opera effect, you can go here and play around with this and see what you like. And for skin tones, here's Vivid. Next, we have your standard mode, and this is for everyday TV watching. We have a sports mode that just turns down the backlights just a little bit. You can connect a PC to this, and it does have an intelligent mode. In intelligent mode, I think actually looks really good. It's gonna basically take the content that you're watching, use AI technology, and try to always give you the best pictures. So if you're looking for an automatic setting, intelligent mode is the way to go. Now I want to check out the black levels with this LG OLED demo, and it's doing a good job. I don't see any like backlight bleed. So if I pause this up here at the top, you just don't see any glowing come in, and it's because of that full array local dimmings that's on this television. If you're looking for a recommendation on a TV to buy, as far as not spending a lot of money and you don't care about the 120 Hertz gaming in 4K, I feel like this is a great contender for that particular market. I can't play a lot of this content, but this is the trailer for the new Avatar movie, and it's looking really good. I mean, look how smooth and high vivid these colors are. I want to pause the scene so you can see the blur in the background and the skin tones on it. And again, this TV is very impressive. Now, if you've been following my social media, you probably realize that I purchased all these TVs, so I'm pretty unbiased to reviews in general. But what I'm seeing right here, it's definitely very impressive for what it is. So I just put this TV in sports mode and just want to check out YouTube TV, which is a good way to get great content. And I've already showed you the motion test, so we already know that's good. But look at these colors on the TV. They pop really good. I just really can't say enough about it. In fact, this is streaming content. It's a television that I definitely think you can enjoy. You can see that this is a 720p signal at 60 frames per second. So it all depends on how good your signal is and how well it's recorded. This is something I like about YouTube TV. So if you're not getting a good picture, it kind of lets you know how the upscaling is working. Now I pulled up some tennis here, and this one is streaming at 43 kilobytes per second. And it is a 1080p signal, so it should be a lot clearer. You see that the picture did get a little bit better on this particular broadcast because of it's 1080p and not 720p. Now I pulled up Disney Plus. Let's put it back in movie mode, and then we can do some other little tests here. I like this movie Brave because it shows a lot of red details in the image. I would say only downside I'm seeing so far is this TV's not that bright, but if you just watch a movie like this in a dark room, it would be fine. And just so you know, I have the brightness at 69 here. Even if I put it at 100%, there's some settings in some of these TVs that even won't allow you to change it. But we'll try some different picture profiles. So this is what the TV is gonna look like in Vivid. Only thing is, it did make the picture look a little bit more on the purple side. Standard mode, sports, and back to movie. Since I'm using the Apple TV, let's switch it over to HDR and see how much brighter it gets. And you will get that HDR10 confirmation in the screen whenever you're playing content. So even switching on to HDR, it didn't get that much brighter. Let's go here and play around with it again. And it did go into IMAX mode, which is still a great feature. So here's the Vivid mode, your standard mode, and back to movie mode. And then we have that IMAX feature here at the bottom. Let's even try intelligent, so it gets a little bit more natural, but we'll leave it in movie mode for this particular thing. But one thing I'm seeing is on some content, it's just not going to be that bright. Now we'll switch it over to Dolby Vision. And again, you get that Dolby Vision little icon up in the corner, which is cool. And it's slightly brighter than it was before, just very slightly. I could barely even tell. But then we have Dolby Vision Bright. And as you can see over in the corner, it's at 100% brightness. We have Dolby Vision Dark. And this is so dark, it's almost unwatchable. We have Game and back to bright. Now we're just gonna play a couple of demos I have in here. And like I said, this TV has a great picture on it. It's not the brightest TV, but the details on it are very good. The mini LED, the local dimming is doing a fantastic job, especially for people who are gonna put it more in a darker room. A lot of mini LED TVs have blooming, so let's check that out real quick. There's a little bit of blooming around the edges here. Not gonna say it's perfect, but it's doing a decent job. It's not something that I think you would notice too much. Only when you're watching a movie, you see some credits at the end of it, that you would notice that this TV is going to have a little bit of blooming. We'll check out some dirty screen effects. And this TV actually looks really good. I'm looking at the camera right here, just looking for flaws. And you can see just a little bit in the edges, but not too much. So when it comes to dirty screen effects in a white level, it looks good. Let's get over here to some of these gray levels. So you can start seeing a little bit of clouding on it. I've seen a lot worse out there, but this is what the TV looks like. So overall, I think you're going to get a pretty solid picture on it. Now I do see just a little bit of blotchiness on one side of the TV, the right side, where I'm not sure if that's the lighting or something, but I can definitely notice it on the camera here. And you can see it's kind of moving around right there. That was kind of interesting seeing those artifacts on the screen, and I really don't know where they came from. It's kind of like if you rubbed your eyes too hard and you start seeing dots in the air, something like that. But let's keep going. Now let's check out some upscaling. And right now in 420p, I'm going to say that it is going to be a little bit of jaggedy edges on it. I'm not sure how many people still use 480p content, but if you have some IPTV or low resolution, you will notice that it's not going to be that clear. Let's step it up a little bit. So here we have the 720p. Again, this is a lot better than it was before. Not going to be perfect. I can still see a little bit of some lines on some of those back buildings, but it's actually doing a pretty good job. And 1080p is where you're going to get the best resolution out of this television. So here's 4K and no jaggedy lines. Everything's native. Everything looks nice and clean. I think you'll be very happy with this TV. If you like that nice flat look to it, the colors look more like they've already been calibrated. There's not any kind of punchiness or oversaturation in this TV. I think it looks really good, especially I just can't believe the price point of it, considering all the features that I'm seeing so far in it. Now we're going to take a listen to the audio on it, and keep in mind this is a recording, so just want to give you a general idea. And remember, we did see Dolby Atmos on the back of it earlier.
This is a Tech Steve test to see how good this TV sounds.
Comes to my pros, I don't play by the rules, I switch up the flow. Hey, chill on the weekend, give X's and no, she in love with the kid, I ain't texting.
And just so you know, in the sound system, you have standard, movie, music, voice, game. So you have a few options in here, including intelligence. You also have custom sound, where you have a surround sound virtual EQ, as well as a bass enhancer, dialogue, and definition that enhances the high frequencies. The audio processor, you have Dolby Atmos, DTS Virtual X. You can even turn it off if you don't want that feature. There's some other features in here like internal speaker, eARC. You can hook up Bluetooth speakers to it. You have that optical output, and you can add a subwoofer to it. But that's the audio settings in here, and you have different screen ratios such as 4x3, as you can see right there, wide, zoom, zoom 2, and stretch. So if you have those older movies and you want to be able to put them in 16:9, it will lose some of the content sometimes or stretch the image, but you can do it. Before we end this video, I want to show you some things on TCL's website so you can kind of get a better idea as a consumer of what to expect. And as we mentioned earlier, it does support the QD mini LED technology with the LD300 precision dimming series. And this is basically going to clean up the contrast, and it actually did a good job doing that. It has high HDR brightness, and it depends how many nits this TV is to consider the brightness, but I couldn't really identify how many nits was available. And the QM5 will support up to 98% of the DCI P3 color gamut. So really good colors, and I actually seen that. And the intelligent setting that I showed you on the television is AI processing. And check this out. It supports HDR Pro Plus with Dolby Vision IQ, HDR10 Plus, which most of the Samsung TVs use, and it has HDR10 and HLG. So this TV supports pretty much everything out there in the market. Now the audio system, I wasn't aware of this, but it is an Onkyo 2.1 audio system with those subs on the back. I just wish they had controls where you can adjust the subwoofer. Now, even though you can use voice command on this television and you see things like works with, Alexa, works whatever, what that means is that TCL has an application that you can log into. You then would go to your Alexa app and give it authorization to the TCL app, and then that's how it talks to it. But it doesn't have the feature built right into the television. I'll leave all those links in the description below. But the 50-inch at the time of this video is going for $349. I purchased the 55-inch, so for $30 more, you can get a bigger TV. They have a 65-inch version, and this TV is going for $499. And if you go with the 75-inch version, this TV is going for $649. So you can get everything that I showed you in this video for $649 for a 75-inch, which is pretty cool. And here's the full array local dimming. If we go over here and hit specifications, pretty much everything I showed you, 60 hertz, 140 motion rate. And it does have a standard TV tuner. It's not the ATSC 3.0 or anything like that. Wait a minute, I do stand corrected. It does have one HDMI 2.1 and two HDMI 2.0. So I'm gonna have to go take a look at the TV a little bit closer. So my bad. I'm trying to correct it as I see this information. So honestly, in my opinion, I think this is a great television, except for those blotchy spots. The black levels are great. Gaming's great. Colors are great. It looks so natural. So if you're looking for a TV and you want to save a little bit of money, I'm going to recommend this particular television, especially at these price points or sell them at. I think you'll be very happy with it overall. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks all for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.